Yo, what's up? It is Super Chase, and today I'm doing my Pokemon card binder collection. I got a ton of shit in here. My binders, I've been working on these for years now, all of them. And yeah, I'm super excited to show you guys. Got a ton of cool shit in here. It might not look like the most crazy amount of binders you've ever seen. I'm big into grading. This is actually my next submission for PSA. All these cards right here, I have a hope all these can get 10s. If you guys want to see a submission video, let me know in the comment section. Leave a like, let me know. But I submit a lot of graded cards. And with that being said, not every card has the best centering. Not every card is in absolutely gem mint 10 condition. So if it's not up to get graded, it typically ends up in the binders. So I have no particular order I want to do this in. These are brand new. I just got these, as you could probably tell by the Terastallized Dedenne, but I just got these at Pokemon Center Japan. I was there March and April of last month, had an absolute blast, picked these up, as well as a ton of different things. Yeah, I got a ton of gear if you guys want to check that out too. I'll put a card there. Amazing stuff at Poke Center Japan. I wish we have some standalone stores like that. This is a really tiny one. I'll save this for a little later. But let's just get into this. This was one of the first binders I put together when I was in high school again. I was a freshman when I got this, and I was trying to just kind of get back into putting cards in binders. You might see some older stuff here. Guys, I finally found a winning camera angle. Had to set it up a couple times because I didn't want the glare to be off the cards too bad. I want you guys to see the cards, you know, as well as you possibly can. So a lot of these cards, they actually have a ton of kind of nostalgia to me. I have to go pretty quick because I have so many cards to show in all these binders, but I hope you guys do enjoy. Got a ton of Aegislash right here, Thundurus, cool stuff like that. Got some more modern stuff, some Sword and Shield era. Let's see, what else is in here? Pidgeot, Lilligant, Typhlosion, got some old stuff. Like, I always thought that looked cool. Hala, even though he's an old man, probably the last to see a spike on waifu tax. Dark Charizard, Monferno, Diamond and Pearl promo. Got some cool stuff here. Mewtwo. Again, these are some of my most favorite, most treasured cards. The Radiant Collection. These are just, these Shaman too right here. Oh, these cards are some of my favorite in my entire collection. Even the normal Meloetta. Yeah, I think Meloetta is an awesome Pokemon, and I got into it through this set because this set is just amazing. And this full art, these 3 full arts. I would love to own this in a 10 one day. If anybody has this in a PSA 10 and is looking to sell, I've been looking for that card for a minute. There's not a ton in existence. If you've seen my PSA video, which I could leave a card to as well, I have the Mew, I have the Emolga, I need the Shaman and the Meloetta in 10, and that will complete my full art set. And the Reshiram, I have the Reshiram already. But here are some holos. Over the years, I used to have all my most coveted cards in here, but as I've gotten cards graded and moved into other binders and, you know, for certain reasons, aesthetic reasons and stuff, breaks, these feel so old now. I remember when the breaks were coming out, these cards now seem so foreign, but they're like these gold, and they look honestly really cool. I kind of dug how they look. I like when Pokemon kind of explores and takes risks. But that was really cool. Got some level X stuff, got some OG EX. These are some really great cards right here. Old Palkia, old Inteleon, super random, but everything else is like pretty vintage. The Inteleon and the Raichu are kind of random, but Latias up there, Crobat, Rayquaza. I mean, these are just amazing cards. Going through even more. Got some VMAX and super modern stuff, and then all the level X stuff right here. I love the level X stuff. That was some of my childhood. Same with Primes. I have a really soft spot for Primes. Primes were the Heart Gold, Soul Silver kind of chase card aspect, and they're all like close-up shots of the Pokemon. I really dig how they look. They look so cool. They're Ursaring. I always thought that looked so badass. Virizion Secret is nuts. Darkrai. A lot of amazing stuff in here. This will always be one of my coveted binders. This old Muck. Look at this Muck art. This is such an incredible art. Look at that. E-Series Muck. I've had that since I was like a little kid. Oh, that is such a cool card. It doesn't even look like MI. They used to go with really crazy, they used to go really crazy with some art styles. Here is a random unfinished. I remember right when Celebrations came out, I was like, oh, I'll have like a mini binder and get kind of like play sets of each. Totally never finished it. This is like easily the most like unfinished thing in here. Just never got around to filling it all out, even though now's probably the best time. But yeah, what I was just saying about the Primes, Donphan Prime was broken. Greninja Gold Star, I love that they did the same with the Umbreon. I mean, they just brought this back, but with the Gold Star Greninja, they straight up like did a new take on an old dynamic, which I love. I hope they explore more of that in the future. That's really cool. But anyways, this is just a tiny little binder that is unfinished. These two I can save. These are all totally just more like hobby ones. I'll show you guys those just in a minute, but we'll go straight into the Mewtwo binder. All right, I'm gonna move these out of the way. We'll get to that in just a moment. We're gonna go into the Mewtwo binder now. So looking at this, got some really cool stuff. I think that's probably the best angle there. I got some golds. This is one of my favorite binders as well over here. I really have a lot of coveted cards in here, stuff that I would love to get graded in a 10, and a lot of this stuff is gem mint. It's perfect. It's just like literally like, I'm such a hawk when it comes to centering and stuff. These are brand new additions, these Mews. I love how they look. I want to get even more. Skytree Town, Rayquaza promos, those are nuts. Shiny Rayquaza's these are 2 new additions as well, these Alakazams. A really cool binder. Again, I moved a ton of this stuff out due to that fat stack that I showed you at the beginning that's going to PSA very soon. So yeah, this is an incredible binder though. I need to finish as well. None of these are finished. It's a constant rig of things moving in and out and grading things and ungrading things and moving things for aesthetic reasons. See, cards like these will probably never move. These are just full arts that I wanted to own. I think they look cool. Wanted a cool like collection pieces, and the ones that I really liked, I really dug the Alakazam, I really dug the Luxray, really dug Lucario. I need to get a third one and move the Milo out. See, this for example, I got 3. I think the Lumineon is absolutely beautiful, but I wanted to put one, I have the alternate art, but I wanted to put one in my deck, another deck I had, so I had to take that out because it's an amazing card and competitive. I think these are all beautiful, honestly. The normal full arts from Sword and Shield are actually really underrated. Oh god, the Garchomp V is beautiful, honestly. Some new cards here, some old stuff, totally random spice. This is a very rare card, the Shining Molisic from Diamond and Pearl era, but yeah, really love the aesthetic of that card, hence why I picked it up so many times. I'm gonna speed up just a little bit, go through some of the Trainer Gallery stuff if you've seen that stuff before. Some of the stuff is a little more generic, some Radiant stuff, some more Trainer Gallery. This is kind of a more interesting page. I picked these up for pennies on the dollar when Pokemon Detective Pikachu was coming out. Moved a ton of them. There was an era where I was selling a bit. It's because I was sitting on like 50 of these, and because I legit thought they were going to go up, I was like, that's a human on a Pokemon card. Like, that's going to be a cool thing people want. And I have a couple going to grading too. I do like the card. It's really interesting. It's a fucking real life person on a Pokemon card. Like, we don't really see that ever. Porygon Level X, one of my favorite Pokemon cards ever. I just think it's such a cool looking card. God, I hope that's in focus. I think Porygon is just a really cool Pokemon and cool looking Level X. The Level X's, again, I have a soft spot for those. Shining Lugia as well. And again, this, clearly I had picked over all this, which I have recently, to submit that massive, I'm going to do an over 200 card PSA submission. It's a lot of cards. It's a lot of cards to have like really nice that you think in grade 10. So these are literally some of those cards that are going in. A lot of them are cards that I've just had in my collection for a long time that I thought were mint, that were sitting in binders like this. They get the opportunity for Judgment Day basically and see if they're 10s or not. These I just picked up in Japan. I'll show you guys these. I opened a box of Temporal Forces and some other just random Japanese packs recently. I put some stickers I got from the Poke Center Japan as well here too. If I kind of flare it down, it's the best angle on the cards here. But as you can see, some new stuff, some English, some Japanese stuff is just kind of scattered here. I'll just show you. This is just totally just me having fun, making binders. Like, I just think this is fun, honestly, filling stuff out with just pretty looking cards. They don't have to be valuable. They just have to look cool. I mean, I just have to like them. That's basically my criteria, and that should be anybody's collector's criteria. But put a couple more stickers in the back. Just thought that looked cool. Dedenne. If I come across more stickers, I definitely will add more stickers, and I think this might be unfinished, but there's some old GXs in here that I was looking to potentially grade that maybe I didn't think were going to be 10s, and then I got some stuff back here, some Sire, some random water stuff, say Titan, Professor's Research. Definitely have to finish this. When I update this video, which will be in a couple months, I have a ton of cards coming too, so I constantly have stuff coming and going. I can make an update and show you guys even more stuff. This is another just pure fun binder. I love the shiny Xerneas EX right here. Such a beautiful card. Same thing with the Sylveon EX. Just put it on a table and guests at your house can just come and look at the amazing art that's in here, and it's kind of aesthetically put in a cool looking binder. Stuff like that just looks cool, and I make these just for myself. No reason. I don't think this is gonna, any of these cards are particularly gonna spike at all or anything. I do have some rare stuff back here. This is random like Weiss Historia stuff or Attack on Titan stuff, but this Xerneas promo, I remember getting that way back in the day, probably, what was that, 2013, 2014, crazy. Still have it sealed, which is just insane. I had the Savvy back in like when I was 12. I was like, wait, I shouldn't break the seal. That's gonna devalue it. But here is some other stuff. These are some amazing cards I have from my youth that I have a ton of nostalgia for. These all were cards I just had as a kid, and I love them so much. This Dragonite EX was like my favorite card ever. Seeing that card is just amazing, and knowing that I have my same beat up one when I was a kid makes me feel even better. Personally, as somebody who submits through PSA, having a beat up card that I just love, that just brings me a lot of joy and brings back all the feels. It's the most prized card in my whole possession. You know what I mean? This to me is worth more than any PSA 10. So that's what this is all about too. Everything else is just an accessory of that love for Pokemon, that passion. But yeah, this is just such a fun binder. None of these cards are grade worthy. These are just purely for enjoyment. And shattered hollow Emboar, this shattered inverted hollow Fan Rotom, just all these cards. I advise that too. If you guys have cards that aren't probably ever going to get graded, that don't have to go into a top loader, throw them into a binder and take some of the cards that you love the most, regardless of the era, regardless of the Pokemon, whether it's a trainer or it's a Pokemon or it's an energy, and just throw it into a binder. You'll just enjoy it. Like, to me, like these two red Rayquazas, and the Japanese stuff and the Mewtwo, like crazy. This is one of my favorite binders, and it's just incredible. And the e-reader stuff, this Ampharos and Arcanine, like I've had all three of these cards for as long as I can remember. You can probably see here, this Gyarados has like a very prominent bend there. Total, that one's like straight up damage, victory, but I love the e-reader stuff. The e-reader stuff is really just really awesome. If anybody's ever, collected those before, they kind of know what I mean, because the art and the foiling, everything was just on point in that era. The Groudon Legend card, we got some other stuff. This Suicune I love, and all these cards, yeah, they just have so much like nostalgic value for me. This Electric Feraligatr, I love that card. Such a cool one. Mudkip Hollow. The way you used to do some of this was like some custom card I made back in the day. The Drowsy, all this stuff. The way they would do some of these reverse hollows back in the day, and the art, like this Drowsy, it's like alternate art before alternate art. It gets this crazy now. That new Drowsy from 151 kind of looks in the same vein, in the same style, even maybe potentially the same artist. But that would have been straight up almost 20 years earlier. These were some of my favorite sleeves. I don't know where most of them have gone. Probably just have been lost through multiple moves and 10, 15 years. But these black and white sleeves, oh man, if I had these today, if I can find these and I can buy them and use them as a deck, sleeves for a deck, I would absolutely love that. And then I got some energies I've collected throughout being a kid, and I thought these looked really cool, so I just put them on the back. But these are my fun binders. We hit them all. I showed you guys what's in here. What's last is the Arceus binder. So this is more modern stuff too. This is kind of like my Mewtwo binder. Again, you could see the front pages has just been rated because, again, I'm putting in a 200 card PSA submission, guys. Again, I can't stress that enough. That's a lot of PSA cards. There's a lot of cards getting graded. So clearly this has been kind of picked over here, but as you can see, got some Crown Zenith stuff, some V-Star Universe. Thought these Illustrator rares are just amazing, and I don't like the English ones. Just the yellow borders with the Illustrator cards, it just wasn't it for me. It was too clashing the style. Like this art with the yellow it's just, it's like oil and vinegar. The gray is so much better. That's why I love Scarlet and Violet era. It's because we have gray borders, and I don't care what anybody says. That is such a good change. It's such a welcome change. I've been waiting for that for so long. Honestly, that was a pipe dream. As an English player, it's just like Japan gets everything. You just kind of get the scraps. But no, we finally are getting like very similar product, very similar quality. Some cool modern stuff right here too. Some other cool stuff. These are some random things that I've picked up over the years. Aura, I've got on record saying this is one of my favorite cards ever, period. But definitely of Crown Zenith, definitely of V-Star Universe, that whole kind of episode there. But got some more hollows, some cool stuff. Rayquaza page, these two EXs, these are some grails right here. Those I actually think, I've looked at them many times, I think those would either get 9s or 10s, but I'm a little so-so on them, and I'm still in that phase where if I'm sending in the card, I really want it to get a 10. If it's like 10 or bust for me, so I'm really harsh on the cards because there's no point. I don't collect 9s, and whenever I get 9s, I immediately sell them, but I keep all my 10s. So that's kind of my thing to it. I don't mean to be like elitist or anything when I see people like out here collecting other things than 10, but fuck, I'll just put my opinion out there. I wouldn't advise buying anything other than 10. The whole idea of a graded product is to flex how flawless it is. And it isn't to flex like, hey, I got this graded. It's like pretty good. No, it's I got this encased because it's a gorgeous, perfect product, and you're buying the perfect thing of that thing. Like, I wouldn't advise to invest. There's no such thing in investing in anything other than PSA 10s. Let me just go on the record for saying that as well. But anyways, You guys see the Shining stuff. You guys see all this. And I was doing almost all this collecting that you're seeing here, because once I started making actual money, I started buying way kind of higher end things. But I was basically building this whole collection. Of course, I did pick up some of these things very recently in the collection, but I did a lot of this on literally no budget, a high school budget, which was nothing. Literally nothing. Just how much money I could somehow make and come up with or flip through ever business endeavor or trick I could come up with. But yeah, these are my binders, guys. I'm gonna do an updated video eventually. I'm getting a ton of new cards soon. I have a massive 3 packages coming from Japan that have a ton of cards that are gonna be inside. Very rare stuff that's even gonna be submitted PSA too. But anyways, I will keep you guys posted and give an updated video when that is ready. But if you guys enjoyed, make sure you give this video a like, comment down in the comment section, and Palfin says what's up. Super Chase, I'm signing out. Peace.